Yeah. So Bayern lose 3-1. Interesting. Look, look. I don't have much to say because I'll be honest, right? I had the game on TV the whole time, but I barely watched because I've got other things to do at the moment that are much more pressing and important. That's just funny to say because it's the end of the season. Typically, it is the most important thing. But all in all, look, the title isn't over. It's not over yet. All right, let's be real. It's not over yet. It's Dortmund that we're up against, and they're gonna most likely bottle it tomorrow. But let's just hypothetically say that it is over. Let us just say that we aren't gonna make it. That we aren't gonna win the Bundesliga. Um, I haven't actually come to terms with that. I ain't gonna be lying, because like it doesn't matter how bad we play. Like I always trusted us to win it because our competition was Dortmund. So now us potentially like not winning it hasn't even processed right yet. But at the end of the day, look, the performance today was shocking. It really was. Like it was absolutely terrible. I wasn't really surprised though because the first half was pretty good, so I knew the second half was gonna be awful. Um, yeah, and the issue is right, and that's my issue. The core of the team is not winners. And I know that a lot of the core of the team has won, but there's a difference between being a winner and having won. What I would want is like one or two like actual like hitmans in the team. Like, and I don't mean that in terms of like people that will score goals, but like people that turn up on like the big stage, and that's typically someone like a Coleman. I give a lot of shit to Coleman all the time because like he typically plays awful and he's typically trash, but like the amount of big time goals that he scored or the amount of like big time, like in important games that he's performed in, it speaks for itself. You've got Müller as well, who's another example of that. The amount of times that he's performed in a big game and like in a crucial, important clash, but like the rest of the team really doesn't have that. They really don't have that. That comes a little bit from experience, but that comes most importantly from mentality. So you saw today, like once Leipzig were like even just after the second half started, when Leipzig started putting pressure on, you could almost see like the team collapse, under the weight of knowing what would happen if they dared to concede a goal. And look, a lot of the fans went out of the stadium like pretty early on, during the second half. Do you look? The thing is, do I blame them? Do I think they should? All right, those are two separate questions. Do I blame them? No, because like if the team performs like that, ultimately, if you really think about it, right, you are paid. Let's take. It's difficult to do because it's football and sports, so you're naturally like attached to your club and whatnot. But let's take that out of the equation, and let's just think about it in terms of like just a event, right? So let's just have it like this, where you pay money to go see something, right? Let's say you pay money to go watch a live concert, or more important, let's you pay money to see an opera, an orchestra, right? You go to a Tchaikovsky orchestra, right? And they're playing Tchaikovsky's first piano sonata, right? And like the pianist just messes everything up. It happens, but you basically paid money for nothing because you came there to like watch, or you came with certain expectations, and those expectations weren't met. So why would you stay? I get that aspect. Now, in terms of a aspect from a fan's perspective, that's obviously different, right? Because like a fan, you can have bad days and good days, so on and so forth. Um, Personally, I would never leave. I think that's just in my nature because, like, even in the 90th minute or so, even if we were down like 10-0, I would still think that we could win it. That's just the way I see it. If I'm being completely honest, that's why I wouldn't leave. So I wouldn't miss the comeback. Um, which is why, like, even now, I still think we're winning the Bundesliga. I know it's not in our hands anymore, but I still think that, like, Dortmund will bottle it. That's why I'm not frustrated. Although I really want players to be sold. I'm not frustrated that we lost today, but I do want the players to be sold because a lot of the players to be sold. Because quite frankly, like they're just a mess. Like an inconsistent mess is still a mess, right? A mess that just plays good one day and then bad the other day is still a mess. And I can't rely on that. And a season, especially, it relies on consistency. and cups, they rely more so on like your consistency, but also peaks. Well, you don't have anything. Like you don't have either of those. So like for me, it's just a case of, well, a lot of these players, they need to be sold. But that's a discussion that we'll have like once the season is over, I guess. With that said, look, Leipzig won 3-1, fully deserved. Actually, who would I keep? That's a better question. Like out of the squad, who would I keep besides Müller? Neuer once he's back. Although I do think we need to get like a serious second keeper in. But like I'd keep Müller. I'd keep Neuer. De Ligt. I know we want Bayern, but I'd love to keep Cancelo. He's the only one that actually brings class. He's the first good fullback we've had in like since Lam retired. My goodness, it's been so long. Because after Lam retired, Alaba had his whole bad form. Davis had one good season, but that was it. And since then, he's been awful. As a right back, we've had Rafinha, Kimmich. I mean, okay, you can call Kimmich a right back, I guess, sure, but I don't. So I don't count Kimmich as a right back. So yeah, since Lam retired, he's the first one that I'm actually like, okay, you're actually like good. You're actually great. We haven't even had a good right back since Lam retired, or a full back since Lam retired, which is kind of sad. Yeah, but who else? Like what else? Who else would I keep? I'd keep Kimmich. And I'll keep the youngsters. I don't like Tell, Musiala. I guess I'll keep Davis as well. Although with Davis, I think you can like really cash in. Musiala, I think you can really cash in as well. But the issue is that like it becomes a point where and it's the same with Davis obviously, but it becomes a point where like you can't sell everyone because there aren't that many replacements. Well, Musiala you can sell easier, but again, if they did that, there would actually be riots. Not from me. Not from me. I'll say that. Not from me. I like Musiala a lot. Look, I really do. He's got flair. He's got style. He's got everything. But like, if Bayern sold him this summer, would I be against it? Nope. But only if they got like the right replacement in. But again, it's one of those things where I'm like, my opinion is very different from like the other Bayern fans, because I would like, if you ask me like which players I would actually keep myself, not as like in terms of if I was in charge of Bayern, but if I was just doing the decisions myself, I'm keeping like 4 players and that's it. But I'm not. But it's not about me. I just want players that perform week in, week out, not like perform half a season and then like disappear for half a season, or not players that have one good season and then never play good again. But I want players that just perform consistently. Like you can be consistent 7. A consistent 7 is better than a player that has that plays like a 2 1 week and a 10 the next week, right? And that's why I want consistency. Well, yeah, that's just my thoughts. That's just my thoughts on the whole situation. Have we lost the Bundesliga? Perhaps. Is the season over? Not yet. There's still game to go. I think just one. Is it just one? I think it's just one. There's still a game to go. Anything can. Oh, 2 games to go. I don't know, but anything can happen. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I will see all of you in the next one. Everyone, peace out.